Hi, let us continue from our earlier series. This is an example for conducting a customized partitioner analysis in a MapReduce program. Now, let us look at the input data. So let me create a new directory. Okay, and let me copy the input file which exists in another location. Let me go into this particular folder. So this is the input file. We have the name in the first column, the age in the second column, the gender in the third column, and the scores achieved by these users or these players in different games. This is a very simple partitioner program which we will do in Eclipse MapReduce. Now the idea is to get the output in three different ways. I want to see the highest scorers by gender in different age groups. The first age group is less than 20 years. The second age group is between 20 and 50 years. The third age group is about 50 years. So I want to have the output show me basically the scorers, the highest scores by each gender in each of these age groups. Okay, and for that we have created this Eclipse program. As you can see, there are a couple of errors here, but by importing the Hadoop jar files, we can overcome all these errors. The basic idea in this program, which I have named as age statistics, is with the package Hadoop GTK, and I want to say the key to be as the gender. Now what happens is the partitioning phase takes place after the map phase and before the reduce phase, and the number of partitions is usually equal to the number of reducers. The difference between a partitioner and a combiner is that the partitioner divides the data according to the number of reducers so that all the data in a single partition gets executed by a single reducer. However, the combiner functions similar to the reducer and processes the data in each partition. The combiner is actually an optimization to the reducer. The default partitioning function that we have is the hash partitioning function, where the hashing is done on the key. However, it might be useful to partition the data according to some other function of the key or the value. Now the partition mapper, now you may see in this program there are three types of codes. One is the mapper code, the reducer code, right, and then the driver code, which has the main method. Okay. Now what partition mapper does is it prepares the data for the partitioner and the reducer. It parses the input records and emits key value pairs where the key is the gender and the value is the other information that is associated with the person. You can see the whole code below this video in the description. Now let us import the Hadoop jar files. So let us go to build path, configure build path, libraries, add external jars, and we add all these 4 jars. When you do that, all your errors you may see are gone now, and you can refer to those jar files in the referenced libraries. Hadoop jar, Hadoop core jars, and Hadoop some of the examples which are included in the jar files. Right? So if you want to change the output, instead of gender you would like it to be name, you can always do that right there for the string gender. Okay. Now let us import this program as let us export it as a jar file. Let me export it in the jar file. So this is the partitioner example that we are doing right there, and I would like to put it as agestat.jar. Okay, So how do we get this jar file into our folder? Let me clear this up. Now let me copy the file. It's in my home, training, desktop, and the age stat.jar. I want to put this into my folder here in August. Let's see what files do we have here. We have age stat jar file, and we also have the input file, right? Now before we do the analysis, we need to put the input file on top of Hdfs. For that, let us use the put command for input onto the /user. Okay, so let us put it on, or let's make a new directory on top of Hadoop, so which gives me /user /partitioner. Okay, so let me put this file inside the partitioner directory. Right, now I have my input file on the Hdfs. Now is the point that you can run the jar file. So the command for that is Hadoop jar age jar, and then the package name Hadoop GTK dot the class name, which I have given as age statistics without the extension of dot class here, and then the location of the input file, which is /user /partitioner input.txt. I would like to create a new directory inside Partitioner where I can see the reducer files. Okay, so let me just say age output. Right, let us now run the MapReduce program. So we are actually using custom partitioning in MapReduce program to find the maximum scorer in each gender and in 3 age categories, which is one is less than 20 years, second age group is 20 to 50 years, and the third age group is greater than 50 years. Great. Let us look what is there inside on our inside the Hadoop system. This is where we have created. So I've got 3 reducer files with me. 3 reducer files. Let us look at the content of each reducer file. So I would say Hadoop fs cat partitioner. So we say part r file 1 2. Great. So in the first age category, right, which is the partition 0 as I would call it. This partition contains the maximum scorers for each gender whose age is less than 20. Now if you look at the input file, right, so if you can see the people who are less than 20 years, right, so we've got Nancy here, a female, who has got score of 98 in the female category, and in the gents category, or the male category, you have got the highest score as 37. So 37 and 98 for age group less than 20 years, and this is what we see here. Similarly, you can see the content of the next reducer file. So in the age group of 20 and 50 years, you've got the highest score of 53 for the female category and 89 for the male category. Similarly, you have your another reducer file for those who are above 50 years. You can see the highest scores by the female category is 92, and the male category it is 97. As you can see, it's 97 right here and 92 right there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this session, and we will continue more series of Big Data Hadoop in our next few classes. Thank you very much.